Your offer was accepted. My name is Sean Larson, real estate broker. Those are the best words ever that you get to share with a buyer. But now what? Well, in short, that is going to all depend on the contract you have. The purchase agreement that you have made with the seller is going to dictate what occurs next. But in general terms, toward the front end of the deal, after the offer is accepted, you are going to have some things to accomplish, and those are going to vary depending on your contract, whether they're going to occur at all, under what timeline they're going to occur. But here's a little bit about what happens. Let's say you go ahead and submit your offer, they accepted it. You might have also submitted, hopefully, your pre-approval or your proof of funds letter that shows them you already have financing in the works or you have a bucket of cash at the bank. So that step is all set. You're also going to have to start looking for insurance for the home, and sometimes you're going to have to provide proof of insurance somewhere in that timeline. Again, all of this is going to vary per market, and people from all around the country see these videos, so this will vary per market. Initially in that period too, you might be having an inspection. If you chose and they agreed to have a home inspection, it's usually on the front end of the deal. Why? Well, why waste time? Because what will happen is the seller doesn't want to keep the home off the market any longer than they have to should the deal fall apart. So they want the inspection done on the front end. Well, the buyer, they want to know too, because if the deal should fall apart based on inspection, they want to go look at other houses. So usually the inspection period or the due diligence period is early in the process. It's usually specified in a number of days how long the buyer has to do that. You can usually call as many inspectors as you want. The more elaborate the home or the systems of the home, the more people you call. It may be a general inspector. You might do roof, HVAC, pool, electric gate. It all depends on the home. Sometimes a general might be all that's needed for the home. So usually that is on the front end. Somewhere in there, your lender, if you're using one, is going to start talking about appraisal. Now, the appraisal is going to happen somewhere in that timeline. You usually don't have control of that. A lot of times the lender doesn't have control of that. It is going to be up to the appraiser's schedule. If you're in a really hot market, that might happen a little bit later. It might be taking a little longer to get it scheduled, might even take a little longer to get the results back. So in that early part, you've got inspection, get that arranged. If it's a hot market, jump on that, because it could be that the inspectors are fully booked and you might have to make another plan with another inspector or plead with them to work you in. So really look at that on the front end. Don't linger for a number of days thinking, oh, we have all the time. Go ahead and jump in, start getting this stuff done, get the inspections done, get the results back. I have a whole video on inspection results and how to handle that massive book that's going to come at you. Now that software does the reports, they can be extensive. Don't get scared about that. That's a whole other video though. So you're going to prove your financing. You're going to get your inspection done on there. Your appraisal is going to be underway. Always stay in communication with your lender too. If your lender is going to need more documents, you want to get those as fast as you can to them because you want to keep that ball rolling. So that's a little bit about what's going to happen on the front end there. Once you get through inspections, evaluate the results, then you might have a negotiation with the seller. Maybe, maybe not. You might be thrilled with the inspection results. The seller might have told you up front they're not going to do anything, and you might just be doing the inspection for yourself just for peace of mind that it's a good home. But if there is a negotiation there, that might last for a specified number of days, and there may be a deadline on there too that it all has to be done by. Anytime there's a deadline in your contract, always know what happens at that deadline if something doesn't occur. Sometimes it's termination. So it could be that the contract auto-terminates if something doesn't happen. So say, for instance, there's an inspection. Inspector found a few things. They always do. I mean, every home is going to have something. And then you negotiate a little bit with the seller on maybe some things will be fixed. And maybe the two of you don't come to an agreement and that deadline runs out. And you're right up against that deadline and you're passed. Some contracts might be written so that the whole contract terminated because you didn't come to an agreement, it auto-terminated. So anytime there's a performance deadline there, you want to be sure you know what happens if that doesn't occur, because it could result in termination and you might have lost the house. Yeah, you might be able to go back and strike another deal, but there might have been another buyer in line too. So really pay attention to the timeline. So as a buyer, a lot of your stuff is really going to happen on the front end here. You're going to get that inspection, get the results, connect with the seller, make sure everything's okay. And then once that period happens and you're set there, most of the rest of the time is really the lender. If you're using a lender, they have to get their job done. They have to get the appraisal done, go through underwriting and everything like that. So that's kind of their time. Your title company is also going to be doing their work, the title search and things like that. So buyer's going to be kind of intense on the front end, and then there's going to be some waiting where everybody else does their job. So that's a little bit what happens after you hear those great words, offer accepted. Every deal is different. Always consult your purchase agreement, and each area does things a little differently. So that's just a broad stroke description there. My name again is Sean Larson, real estate broker. If I can help with anything or answer anything, give me a shout. I'll take great care of you. Thanks so much. See ya.